following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Howdy how, folks. How's everyone doing today? It's Monday. Don't normally stream today. Don't normally stream this early either, but there's a lot going on, and so figured, you know what, I've got to make dog food today, so I might as well do that on stream. And I was going to make chicken stock to go into the Chanko Nabe that we're making today. So I figured it'd probably be a good idea to get started early, which is why we're going now. Chanko Nabe is literally sumo stew. It is what sumo wrestlers eat as they train. It's a pretty healthy, but it's a high protein, high calorie meal that helps them put on weight and fuel them as they train. And the Natsu Basho just ended on Saturday. Crazy tournament. A lot of upsets, a lot of chaos, a lot of unexpected things happened. But it was a good time, and can't wait for the next one to pop up, which will be, I believe, in July. So that'll be fun. And I was hoping to make this on Saturday, but Saturday just did not work out like I had hoped, and so we're doing it today. But I do plan on being back tomorrow at the regularly scheduled time. But before I get started, here's the game plan for today. All right. First thing I need to get going is the stock. We're going to do it in the Instant Pot, and it should take, at pressure, an hour. Total time, not 100% certain. On the stove over there, if I do this, you'll see there's a pot up front and then there's a pot on back to boil. We need both of those in order to make sure that we can try to bring the stock and everything up to heat quickly, and then that way it can maintain the temperature for the hour and then come down naturally within a reasonable amount of time. So to do that, the first thing I want to do, like I said, is I want to put together the stock. Then, because I'm going to be making the dog food, which is going to be a chicken-based batch, one of the ingredients that's going to go into the Chanko Nabe is these chicken meatballs. And so I want to process that stuff up first, then we'll go into the dog food, and then after that's all taken care of, then we can continue with the Chanko Nabe, because at that time, at least, the stock should be about ready to go, and if not, we'll have plenty of time in order to prep all the ingredients and everything that we need. So let's get into it. All right, I got my Instant Pot here, the pot for the Instant Pot. I've got some tops to some green onions that I saved up. These have been washed. These go into stocks all the time, add some really great flavor to them. I've got some Korean daepa, which are just these large kind of onions. One of these is going to go in here. I'm just kind of folding that up. And then I've got a second one here that I'm just going to take this end bit off of and throw this in. This, however, I'm going to hang on to for the stew itself, and so we're going to put this off to the side. Hey, Radio Hattis, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today? Working on the stock for our Chanko Nabe, and so I'm just getting everything into my Instant Pot here so I can get that going, and we'll be good to go. In addition to that daepa and those tops, I'm going to throw in half an onion. I'm just taking this root end off because they tend to be rather dirty, and I'd like to try to keep the dirt out as much as I can. I'm just throwing a half onion in there. No big deal. Hunk of daikon radish. And since it's, like I said, it's going into a pressure cooker, I don't need to worry too much about cutting it up. Bit of carrot, that's going in. I got a knob of ginger here that I'm just going to peel up, and then probably put about half of that in. That is in. Then a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm just leaving these, well, I'll leave these out because I'm going to need a couple when go to make the chicken meatballs. The other thing, I'm throwing in some Napa cabbage too, and I mean, this is just all the vegetation portion of the stock. I have a stewing hen, I've got some chicken feet, and chicken thigh bones that I had taken out of thighs when I went to debone them, obviously. We're going to blanch all of those in order to hopefully get most of the blood and everything out so it doesn't cloud up and make the stock kind of funky. I'm just pulling off some of the outer leaves. I mean, these are a little bit wilted, and so I wouldn't necessarily like put them into the Chanko Nabe because some of this is going in, but these leaves are perfectly good for stock making. So this is another thing that we will need later, so that's going off to the side. Trying to find room for everything is kind of a pain. Okay, so I've got chicken feet, I got a stewing onion here, and I've got thigh bones, all of which we're going to blanch, but they don't all blanch for the same amount of time. In fact, let me glove up since I'm going to start working with the chicken. There we go. Shears because that is going to be necessary. Okay. So the feet here, after we blanch everything, we're going to give them a good rinse to get all the coagulated bits off of before they go into the Instant Pot here. Those are just, like I said, those are thigh bones that I've kind of saved up. And the last thing here is a stewing hen. The stewing hen, I'm actually going to kind of cut up into quarters a bit. And stewing hen, for anybody who doesn't know, is just a hen that had lived its life laying eggs and everything, but towards the end of its life, it, you know, just doesn't produce anymore. So they get used for things like soups and stews because they're older and there's a whole lot of flavor in there, but they're kind of tough, and usually if they get eaten, it's like a really long kind of simmering stew that gets they get used in. But in terms of for making soup, they're fantastic because there's just a ton of flavor in there. All right. We'll need those later. Put those off to the side. Okay. We got our chicken bits. We're ready to go blanch them. So let's. Alright. So the hen we're going to put in for about 30 seconds first, and then we're going to put everything else in. There we go. Yeah, this is just helping any residual blood, proteins, etc., stuff that you would normally skim off in the course of making a normal stock. It just helps it coagulate so you can wash it off first, since you can't really skim with the Instant Pot. Alright, thigh bones and feet. Do these for another minute. These should be about ready to go. The nice thing about stewing hens, well, I will say that getting hold of stewing hens sometimes is kind of difficult. My local market actually was carrying them for a while, but for whatever reason they decided to stop. But a different market actually was carrying them full time, and so now that I've got a steady supply of them, I mean, this is what I use by making chicken stocks now. Because stewing hens just have such a great flavor. And since we're doing this in the Instant Pot, they only need to be in there for about an hour. That's good. Turn the heat off. Drain. And cold water. Just giving these a good rinse off to get rid of that coagulated stuff. Alright. There we go. Alright, so we got our bits of the stewing hen here. Putting in. We got all of those thigh bones that we harvested. Those are going in. And then we got our chicken feet here. Which, pro tip if you're ever making soup stock or ramen stock or anything like that, is they tell you to take the nails off, so then that way they don't accidentally get in there. I've seen people snip like at the first joint, and that's a big no-no. You actually just want to get it real close and snip it off like that. So if you can see that, I just took the nails off, and then that's all we're doing is we're taking the nails off and then tucking them into the pot and get them covered with the water that I got on the stove, and then get it going. And then we can move on to step 2. Thankfully, after blanching, these aren't very hard. You can actually snip through them pretty easy. It can be kind of a tedious job, but the extra step is definitely worth it. I mean, if quite possibly the country's foremost expert on making ramen, if this is what he does, I figure, probably a pretty good idea if I do the same. My plan is also on the VOD to split this up into 2 videos when I go to upload it to YouTube. So then that way, like this portion where I'm working on like the stock and the nabe and all that stuff will end up in one video, whereas the dog food stuff will end up in a different video. Just so then that way, oh hey, I want to, watch the whole dog food process. Well, then, that's available, as opposed to having to sift through everything. How's everyone else doing today? Did you have a good weekend? I know it's Victoria Day in Canada, so they're on holiday. Our holiday, Memorial Day, is coming up. I believe that's next weekend. So we'll have next Monday off. And normally it's a big, food holiday and things like that. I haven't thought about what I was going to do for it. So I'm definitely open to suggestions. Alright. And here is our pot ready to go. Let's change cameras so you can see that. Alright. Pot of water ready to go. And I'm just adding enough to cover what's in there. Let's check the fill. There we go. that is actually at, you can't see it from up here, but the water level is at the max fill line on the liner of the Instant Pot. So we are going to get pretty rich stock, so that will be excellent. So I'm just going to get this into the Instant Pot and get it going. I have my Instant Pot set up over here today just because since I'm making dog food over there, I can't really have the Instant Pot set up over there because I need that counter space in order to make dog food and everything else. So, okay, here we go. Okay. High pressure for 1 hour. And okay. So now it's gonna come up to. It's gonna come. There we go. Hey, Happy Batty, welcome, welcome. Yeah, unfortunately the camera wasn't really. It's not. I've got my Instant Pot set up over there, and I'm making chicken stock that's going to go into the Chanko Nabe. I was just getting it set up, and so now it's in the Instant Pot. It's going. It's now coming up to pressure. It's going to cruise in an hour at high pressure, and then we're going to let it come down naturally before taking out what we need for the Sumo Stew. In the meantime, I'm going to give my gloved hands a quick wash, and then we're going to get to work on the chicken meatballs that are going to go into the Chanko Nabe, and then we're going to start working on the dog food. Yeah. My sink is empty. My dishwasher, the only things that are in there are clean. There's not a whole lot in there. Most of it is empty. Just got to pull out some of the bigger stuff, so we'll be ready to go when it comes time to clean up, because there's going to be a fair amount of it. But this is what we do. All right, let's bust out the food processor, because we're going to need this. Work bowl. Alright, got that. And we need the chicken. Alright. So on Saturday, in preparation for making the Chanko, I deboned some chicken thighs, and those bones are now actually in the stock. This was the chicken that I just kind of diced up. We're going to use this for the Chanko, the meatballs for the Chanko Nabe. So this is about a pound of just cut up chicken thighs, taking out the bones, taking most of the fat off. There's still a bit of fat there, but that's just sort of natural, and that's okay. So to this, the other thing I need. So we need to throw in some green onions, which I just happen to have these chopped up that I normally, I'll have them on hand a lot of times for just any number of things. So I have these, and I'm like, this will be perfect. Alright. This. Okay, so we need some ginger. We need some garlic. No, we don't. No, the garlic is for the soup later. So, but we do need ginger for the meatballs. So we got about a pound of the chicken. I'm guessing about 6 tablespoons or so of the scallions. We're gonna put about 4 teaspoons of ginger, about 4 teaspoons of soy sauce. I'm just guessing on this. And 4. We need to throw in some cornstarch. That needs a couple of tablespoons. Right. Peel that ginger. Just using this grating plate. That does not quite look like 4 teaspoons. We need some more. Squeeze out that ginger juice. There we go. That's really what this wants, is the ginger juice. We're going to need this later because we're going to need garlic and ginger to go into the soup itself. Alright, so the chicken's in, we got that, we got the ginger, cornstarch, soy sauce, we need an egg. I'm just going to leave the eggs out because I will be needing these for dog food. Last but not least, three-quarters of a cup of panko. This will just help bind it together, and if it ends up being too wet, we can always add more panko. Cornstarch, yeah. But you can very easily use like tapioca starch or potato starch. Either one will work just fine for this. So let's give it a pulse. Okay, that's looking pretty good because we're getting some paste action going on in there, but we're also still retaining some chunks of the chicken. So these will make for some excellent meatballs. So I'm just gonna get this stuff out. This just hang on to, pop in the fridge until we're ready to make the meatballs. And since there were green onions in here, and onions aren't necessarily the best things for dogs, I mean, there's not going to be enough in here that what tiny amount that there is isn't going to cause any real harm. I'm still going to give it a rinse. meatball stuff is ready. Okay. So I'm going to give this a rinse, put this stuff away, and then when we come back, we're going to start on the... Oh, hey, Avocado Green KitchenAid. Then we're going to start on the dog food. So I'm going to throw it to the Be Right Back screen, because it'll act as a marker for me, and also so I can, you know, kind of take care of this stuff. You don't have to necessarily watch me, you know, like, oh, I'm cleaning it up. So, all right, we'll be back in just a minute. Okay. We're back. I'm going to have myself a little sit down, a little drink for a moment. Got the counter completely sanitized. Got things basically set up and ready to go. The Instant Pot gave me the alarm that said, hey, the time that you've allotted is done. So now we're just waiting for it to naturally kind of come down. And because I've been standing for nearly 2 hours, I'm like, you know what? Now would be a good time to sit down and have a little bit of a frosty beverage. And say, hey, what's up? Shout out to those that are active in chat and those that are, you know, lurking around. Always appreciative of the lurkers. But, so yeah. Chanko Nabe. Chanko Nabe. Oh, man. So I've, you know, been a casual fan of sumo for a long time. And I say very casual. It's one of those things, like, if it's on, you know, I'll happily watch it. But I came across a Twitch stream called Midnight Sumo. And the gentleman, I'm not entirely certain where he's at, but he live streams the tournaments that take place every year, the Bashos. And those tournaments occur basically every 2 months. And they run for 15 days. Anyways, he... Actually... There we go. I got a footrest too. So he started streaming these, and has been, I guess, for a while. But what really kind of does it for me, even though it's a straight feed from Japan, there's no subtitles, there's a lot of people that are very hardcore fans in the chat, and they're very helpful. So, started watching this last Basho, this last tournament, and really kind of watching it and really enjoying it. And so for 2 weeks, I mean, it's what we would watch kind of at night, because when it would air in Japan, it started around, normally I think it was like 5 p.m. here, Pacific Standard Time, and run till about 2 a.m. Now, I wouldn't necessarily watch the entire thing. I mean, it's like 9 hours of coverage for all the different divisions and everything else. But we would definitely tune in for usually right around Division 3 or so, and the Division 2 matches. And then Division 1 would usually start around midnight for us. But started watching it, started learning about things, and just some of the wrestlers, and we had a blast. And so we're really, it's sad that this one just ended, but at the same time, we're really excited for the next one, because there's been a lot of kind of upsets, a lot of things that have happened in this last one that shook some things up, which is pretty funny. A lot of unexpected things happened. People that were supposed to win did horribly. People that weren't supposed to do very well at all just like went crazy. But it was a lot of fun to watch. Chanko Nabe is... The best way to describe it is a large kind of hot pot that gets shared by all of the wrestlers in each of the individual stables. So the way that it's kind of set up is you have, think of a stable almost like a, not really a team per se, because everyone's an individual wrestler, Oh, I'm sorry, I got the ad for dog treats, Happy Batty. But that is kind of funny that it was dog treats of all things. But every group it's a stable. It's almost like it's a team, but they're all individuals. They don't necessarily compete together, but they're called stables. And every stable has its own sort of recipe that they normally will make. It's for kind of the soup base, really. As for the individual ingredients that go into them, that will change daily. It's kind of like Master Splits was saying earlier, that because they eat this literally every day, that they have to change it up in order to keep things interesting. And so there's a ton of different ingredients that go into it. There's no one right way to make it. There's no one recipe that is a definitive, yes, this is absolutely it. Chanko Nabe is meant to have, well, a lot of protein, a fair amount of vegetables. As for the broth, there's usually two different schools. Sometimes you have like a light broth that gets really enriched with all the ingredients. Sometimes you have a really flavorful broth that will flavor the ingredients that are put into it. But very, very commonly, in terms of the proteins that you put into it, it will be things like chicken. There's these chicken meatballs that will show up a lot, which is why we're making them today. Things like pork belly, just chicken in general go in, tofu, fish, mostly firm whitefish, shrimp, all kinds of stuff. But then interestingly enough, I didn't realize that kimchi would have been a thing that they'd put into them, but apparently it is in fact a thing, where some stables kimchi is pretty common. And so they, it's in the soup itself, and it kind of, it's a Japan's take on what a kimchi jjigae would be. The kimchi stew. Yeah, exactly. Kimchi is a Korean thing, but apparently, I don't know when this took place. There was like this big, like we love Korea kind of wave that went through, and so a lot of Korean cuisine, K-pop, Korean dramas, and things like kimchi and Korean food became popular. The kimchi and all that stuff that normally comes through, oh, no worries. Hey, Lumpy Pickle, dude, I totally understand that you've been working. It's all good. But the kimchi and everything that normally comes through isn't anywhere near as spicy as it usually is in Korea. That's just the Japanese palate isn't set up for a ton of spice like Korea's is. It's not to say that there aren't people that enjoy it. It's just, generally speaking, that's not kind of their jam. But they'll, miso will be a very common addition to the soup. In our case today, I've got the chicken stock, which we're just waiting for the pressure to come down naturally, and then we'll use that to make our Chanko Nabe. But using dashi is also super common. We'll be using miso, and then in addition to the chicken stock and the miso that'll be going in, we'll be adding some sake, some mirin, some ginger, and some garlic, just to kind of flavor it. And then as we're eating, I'll have more stock on hand, so if it gets low, we can just add more to kind of top it off and keep it going. But yeah, there's a ton of variation, and what's cool, and I would love to do this like for like a sumo party, we're watching it and whatever, and sit around and actually have multiple people here and have a giant hot pot going that we can all sit around and enjoy together, because that's really the way that it's meant to be eaten. So that will have to wait for another time. But so for today, it'll just be Mrs. Waso and myself that'll be mukbanging the heck out of it. What is kind of cool, and it's something that I don't know, I think it's awesome. When you look at Japanese nabes, The way that they're constructed is, it's not how you would think of a Western style stew, where it's like, oh, you know, something that's been braised for a really long time, you know, a really thick, you know, kind of broth or, you know, stew as we think of it. For the nabes, usually it's a, you know, just kind of a soup, and then the ingredients are kind of layered in, sort of pretty. They're not just thrown in and mixed up. And so you'll have like little sections, like here's the napa, here's, you know, this, here's this, here's this, here's this. And that's what we're gonna do with ours. Is we're gonna prep everything, we're gonna lay it out all nice and pretty, and then when we're ready to get going with it, we're gonna start the assembly and make it look all awesome and pretty, and eat as we go, and it will be a good time. So that being the case, I think I've had enough of a little bit of a sit down for the time being, so I will kick away my makeshift stool for the time being. And yeah, let's get the party going. Behind. Okay. Hands are washed, ready to go. Oh, helpful if I have it. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the additions to the soup just set up in this little bowl, so then that way it's done, it's out of the way, we don't have to think about it. I've got more ginger here for grating, and we're also going to grate on there at the same time. Thinking about 2 cloves of garlic. Those little plates cool and everything, but I will say that if you're not careful, you can grind your fingertips off. Let's see, what time is it? 4:40, so in theory, Mrs. Hueso should be home in about 20 minutes or so, provided that she didn't get waylaid by work. That looks like it's... All right. So I am going to be adding... So in the nabe, which I'll bring it out and we'll get it all set up. It's going to be 3 cups of the chicken stock, and then to that we'll add what it works out to about 1 ounce of mirin and 1 ounce of sake. I'm just got a big old bottle of Shochikubai extra dry. I keep this stuff on hand. I use it a lot for, especially when I'm making like steaming vegetables. I will steam with this stuff quite a bit, and it does some wonderful things to them. Puppy, is somebody walking by? Alright. So let's... If I add it to that, it'll clean it off a little bit better. Dang, girl! She's all hot and bothered. Hey! What? Alright. kid on a scooter and a kid on a bike. That's it. You're fine, little girl. Hey! Alright. So that is all ready to go. So I got my nifty platter here. Alright. Figured some onion might be kind of nice in there. It's not a super typical ingredient, but it's my nabe and I'll do what I want. So let's... How to make it work. Got big old Decay here. Korean version of what would be called a Tokyo negi. A long onion, basically. These make a great soup. There's a really famous Korean chef. Call him, what's his name? Beck, basically. Anyways, he has a recipe up on his YouTube page about making soup with a whole bunch of these in it. It is very good. We've made it a few times. Alright. There. There. About 2 lengths. And this just came out of our garden. Now we've got these nifty pieces, and then you can tell the walls on these are pretty thick. So these are actually going to require a somewhat decent amount of time in the soup to cook. Whereas something like the shrimp that we're going to be adding really isn't going to require very much time at all. Whereas this stuff likes to take a little bit of extra time. But it gets very yummy and delicious. Okay. Let's do the Napa cabbage next. Napa tends to be pretty big and very common ingredient, and so we're going to add a pretty decent amount. Let's see. A fair amount more I will. Not entirely certain how much. We'll just kind of see. We're winging it. Brown bits. I'll have to trim those off. Then the white bits always take longer to cook, so those will go in first, and then the what was enjoying the cabbage? We got very close to it. That's how you know the cabbage is good, is when the bugs like it too. I think the Japanese use shark skin grinders for wasabi. Yeah, oh man, yeah, zesting your thumb hurts. Am I gonna have a sumo match with Mrs. Weso before eating? Oh, heavens no. Heavens no. That would not go well. Mostly because neither of us are all that flexible. And so it would just be like, okay, we're done. That's it. I don't care enough. Alright, I'm gonna go give these a rinse, and then we'll get them set and ready to go. Yeah, so the shark skin grinder for wasabi, it's it's literally a little grater that's on usually like pine wood or something like that, and that's what traditionally gets used for grating wasabi. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it's super traditional. So do what you want. Line these guys up, get that trim. Okay. Just kind of taking off some of the uglier little bits. So prepping these guys, normally you want to separate the ribs from the leaves, since the leaves are done so much quicker. So that being the case, what we'll go ahead and do is put them like that. And then that way we can add in the ribs first, so since they take longer to cook, and then the leaves can go in later. Maybe even for like a round 2 sort of thing, in the event that we can't fit everything into the pot the first time. Pretty common to actually cook in kind of rounds. So like you'll do round 1 stuff that takes a while, let it cook, and then pull everything like out of the soup, eat on it, and load the soup up with kind of the next round of ingredients. That may be the case today, or it could just end up being that if there's enough room, which I can't say I'm 100% confident about because the pot that we're going to be using isn't all that big. So we very well may end up doing multiple rounds. Alright. We've got our ribs here, we've got our leaves. Kind of doing big pieces on these, so then that way they're very easily grabbed. I mean, I'll be eating with chopsticks. Can't speak for Mrs. She might try, but then she might just be like, you know, screw this noise. And that's okay. Alright. This stuff, probably get away with this. doing it like that since it'll shrink a fair amount. Alrighty, next up, carrot. Just gonna give this a quick peel. And I'm just gonna slice it on the bias. Sure. Being disagreeable. Look pretty. Dang it. Oh, there we go. Alright. Shiitake mushrooms. Always a must. Things like enoki mushrooms. There's a ton of different mushroom varieties that could very easily get added to the Chanko Nabe. Shiitake are super common. I got them. Yes, shiitake indeed. Okay. So I'm gonna cut out the stems real quick and then give them a rinse. Now sometimes, actually a lot of times, if you're adding like the whole shiitake mushroom to the stew or whatever, if the mushroom hasn't developed kind of these cracks or anything, what you'll see is that it's really common to kind of cut in like a little asterisk in there to make them look pretty. These have got the cracks on it, so I'm not really inclined to do so, but then I just might, just for the sake of showing y'all what's what. So now let's do it. Why not? I have a friend who plays a druid named Shiitake and specializes in shroom-related magic. That's pretty funny. And he do it. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. So we've got our little design carved at the top. I'm only going to do that one just because, like I said, these have got kind of the cracks in it, so I'm not terribly worried about it. They are going to take a while, so they're going to want to go in pretty early on, too. Let's see. I think... Let's see. Carrot. I believe this is it for our vegetable platter for the Chanko Nabe right now. So this is what we're looking at vegetation-wise. We got our soup add-on ready to go. So let's bust out everything else. Okay. Got some shrimp that I thawed earlier. I'm going to go peel these guys, and that'll be ready to go. I've got a pack of thinly sliced pork belly that we will be eating with that. Then in here is the... Oh, Mrs. Wayso's home. Hey, baby. Hey, Map Kelly, welcome. We got our mix for the meatballs, and so we'll form those and get those suckers ready to go. And, yeah, that'll be good. And I'm going to get another platter to get that stuff all plated up and make it all look pretty. But in the meantime, I'm going to go peel these real quick, and then I'll be back. Hey! How are you doing? Matt?
Yeah.
One of them days? Oh?
Just... Thanks, David.
Nonsense.
Hi! Ooh, happy Betty's back! How are you guys?
Ooh, would you...
I'm here now. That's what matters,
Would
right?
you grab me 2 sections of paper towel real quick?
2 sections of paper towel, check!
Thank you.
That's my level of cooking! Oh, I got you 3.
Yeah, just fine. Yeah, just fold it and lay it down on the top section. Yep, just like that.
Top section.
Yeah, go ahead and lay the third one on top.
I need to wash the hands.
You should do that.
If you want. Hey, Lumpy Pickle and Scott.
Matt Kelly's here. Avocado Green KitchenAid is around.
What a surprise. Avocado Green KitchenAid doesn't miss a single one.
Then
That's a good mom for
we
you.
had a new friend show up.
Happy Batty.
Splits Master 180.
Splits Master. Go. Cool. Lots of new friends.
Yeah, Splits Master is a sumo fan.
Nice.
And so, yeah.
At first I was like, this is kind of weird. No, this is actually very interesting. Although I'm obsessed with the ghost lady. I don't know if DK
I have
told you about
not
that.
talked about her at all.
There's this woman that sits in the audience. Rumor has it she's like a spouse of someone. I don't know, but...
She goes by a few different names.
Yeah, Ghost Lady, the Posture Princess, a couple other names. But this woman sits down, like all of a sudden she just appears on camera, and she sits perfectly and doesn't move a single thing, like no wiggling, nothing. The only thing that really moves is her eyes, and her eyes are like bing, 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 but she just sits there.
Yeah, her head doesn't really move.
Yeah, every once in a while it'll slightly turn. Chuck some salt around and sumo slam DK.
Yeah.
Fling!
I've got the salt for it.
We do have the salt for it, but I'm gonna be honest, we've tried that and he wins every time.
Oh, is Lumpy Pickle suggesting we sumo before?
Yeah, Miss Way, so chuck some salt around and sumo slam DK. It's more like hitting a brick wall, boop, and then falling over. Anyways, this woman is beautiful, and she sits there and she sits slightly angled, so she just stands out of the crowd. She's fascinating to watch. Anyways, I'm obsessed with her. No one really... Well, some people might know who she is. I haven't found much information on her online. But part of the fun is not knowing anything. Like, there used to be a gentleman that DK would trade with who lived in Florida. Chuck Snow. And I, to this day, have no clue what Chuck Snow looks like. But that's part of the fun, is the imagination of what does Chuck Snow look like? We had that for a little while with Lumpy Pickle, but then we saw your face. Although we're happy to see your face and hoping you'll come stay with us sometime. Anyways. Yeah, she does not move. That level of stillness is hard to achieve. And she'll sit there for hours.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, she goes by she has a couple of different nicknames. The Posture Princess, Sumo Hime, the Ghost Lady. But she actually has a kind of a cult following online because she's at like all of the tournaments.
Yeah,
and
she's one. She only has Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, every day of like every tournament, and this has been going on for a long time. And there is kind of a creepy online following of people that are obsessed with her, but it's one of those things that, like Mrs. Weisel said, she stands out, and you can't help but notice her. But is she hands in lap? Her head barely moves, and from as best as we've been able to find out, it appears that she's like she's like the wife of some like Sumo Wrestling Association official or something like that.
Yeah, she's always in these gorgeous dresses that are perfectly tailored for her.
But they're not like loud and ostentatious.
Correct.
They're very like
old school, like modest, old school dress.
Very much so.
And then there's always a brand new bag to match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's brand new. It's a different bag.
But there's always a very nice handbag.
Scott, next time, in 2 months, it'll come back on, and you watch it on the Twitch channel. It's super interesting.
Yeah, the Twitch channel, at least there's a couple that show them. The one that I watch it on is called Midnight Sumo. The chat there's pretty cool.
Show what you're doing on the screen.
So I'm laying out the shrimp all kind of nice and pretty in preparation for.
Is there a point to make it nice and pretty other than that's Japanese culture?
The only point to making them all nice and pretty is because we need beauty shots for like the intro.
Okay.
And and also, I mean, when we go to like get this thing going, we need having it all laid out nice is much better than I'm gonna throw it into a pile.
You're right.
I know I'm right.
And you're always right.
Not always.
I'll put my apron on.
Okay. Shrimp. All set and ready to go. I can get rid of the cutting board because I don't need to cut anything.
Ooh, I'll take that.
Thank you. Careful with the knife.
I need a job.
Thanks. Alright, we can get this out of here. Let's see. Alright. Pressure is still up there, but that's okay because we can do a quick release if needs be. I try to avoid doing quick releases off of the Instant Pot personally, mostly because when I do, or whenever I attempt a quick release, it tends to geyser a little bit. And that could just be because I actually have it full. But, okay, we have... I will let you know. We've got our sliced pork belly. Oh, did they do what I think they did? They did do what I think they did. Those stinkers. So you have kind of these nice longer pieces of belly sitting up top. And then they did this underneath. What the heck? This stuff will cook relatively quick, about the same amount of time as the shrimp. It's so thin. And if we want more, we'll really plenty up.
The house across the street dropped $30K.
Oh, you mean that one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was up for $30K more than up for now.
Okay, just point of reference. There's a house that's across the street and over one that went up for sale. What were they asking for it? You know?
$430.
$430?
And then they changed the price to $409. They've accepted an offer.
Really?
I don't know what the offer is, of course. I will when it sells.
Yeah. So, okay, we've got belly. We've got shrimp.
We got belly. Yes, we have belly. How about you?
It's true, I got a belly. I got a big belly. Alright, so this I can put back in the fridge. And then it's meatball time. Meatball. For some reason I thought I had a smaller disher, but that's what I got, and that should work pretty well. So yeah, this was the meatball mixture that we made earlier at the very beginning after we got the stock going. This is just chicken thighs that were thrown into the food processor with green onions, some soy sauce, some ginger, cornstarch, which if you have a corn thing, you can very easily use potato starch or tapioca starch. Yes, Chanko Nabe, and some panko, Japanese breadcrumbs. We wanted this thick consistency, and that's what we got. So I'm just gonna get this going and pop out a ball.
Well, that's more like a dome.
Yeah, it is kind of a dome, but that's okay. We can roll it around if we want.
Maybe split them in half, or
Do you want to?
want me to?
Well, how about we do half and half? Half will do the full size, half will do half size. How's that?
Yeah, because my mouth likes the smaller stuff.
Okay, well, then that being the case, when we get to that kind of halfway point, why don't you come on in and then help?
Okay, you tell me.
I will. I will tell you. Don't even start with me on the hand washing. You don't get to go on about hand washing. We started rewatching Orphan Black last night. I had forgotten just how good that series was. Tatiana Mansley did a phenomenal job.
36 price. Master says they gave 36 price in one sitting. Holy smokes, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, they absolutely can.
But they have to. Like I said, we'll wait on you with cards. Lots of cards.
Yep. Which, interestingly enough, Grant has been streaming since like 8 this morning.
Right.
And this morning for breakfast, he did a New York strip, 3 eggs, a bowl of oatmeal. Yeah, but it was just like, okay, this is happening. He was like, oh yeah, protein and carbs. You know, that's kind of what he was doing. That's really kind of what this is. Oh, the other thing that we're going to need to do is the rice. I had made rice on Saturday, and since Saturday obviously didn't happen, saved the rice. It's currently in the fridge. When the time comes, my darling dearest, I am speaking to you. Okay, just checking. I'm gonna need you to put it in a bowl, put like a damp paper towel on top, and then nuke it for like 3-4 minutes, basically until it's warmed through. And then we'll... Yes? I know. Okay, I think we're about the halfway point for the chicken meatballs if you want to come wash your hands. And then we'll make little mini balls.
Now what's in the balls?
Chicken thighs that have been minced up, green onions, ginger, soy sauce, cornstarch, panko, scallions, and an egg. So
1 egg in all of them.
1 egg in all of it. Stacked is kind of a binder.
Where's the little scooper?
Oh, it's over
Oh,
here.
these are cute.
Oh, now you're okay with them?
Well, from the other room on screen, they looked way bigger. I was thinking of, snap. What did Katie forget? The bowl of water. These are sticky.
Yeah.
I forgot the bowl of water. You'd think I'd learn. I just made these the other day. What are the different scoop sizes? I would think you would know that, Matt Kelly. You work in a kitchen sometimes.
I don't recall what number disher that is.
Dishers come in all sizes. And I think the larger the number, the smaller the scoop. Is that right?
That is correct. The way that the disher numbering system works is that the number on the disher denotes how many scoops it would take for, I think it's like a cup or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's something to that effect. Okay. All right. So you're good?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get the stuff that we need in order to get this party started.
Okay.
Okay? I will be right back.
It's just us, guys. Any questions you have about DK? I could spread the gossip. Just kidding. Oh, a pound. That makes sense to that.
Oh, pound. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I was going to say, unfortunately, I don't have the traditional ceramic Danabe, but I do have this nifty Japanese enameled cast iron pot, and that's what we're going to be making it in. I'm going to go get the induction burner.
Oh, I don't know if we can run the induction burner and the microwave. I bet money we blow the circuit.
Wait, that power strip shouldn't be on the same circuit as the...
Shouldn't be. The wiring in Washington, the state of Washington, not that we live in that state, but some states, like the state of Washington, the wiring here, it's chained together. So, this room, another room, the bedroom, they're all in one circuit, and that's just how it's wired.
Yeah, it's really wonky, and it's stupid. But yeah.
That's how they did it.
Yeah, so, for instance...
I mean, in all fairness, in the 50s, when the house was built, technology wasn't really that...
Greatest generation, my butt.
I mean, technology, they had, what, TVs and some appliances. They didn't have 5 million computers. I mean, between the two of us, how much doodads we have? 5 or 6? So we don't even have that many.
I've actually tested this. This pot works on the induction burner, so we're okay there.
Is Sumo Stew like a Mongolian hot pot? I don't know.
I
have no idea. All I know is the sumo wrestlers eat it, and it's supposed to be yummy.
Kind of. but it doesn't. The Mongolian hot pot usually has like the funnel that comes out the middle. It's kind of. It's like saying, you know, a Ferrari and a Honda are the same thing. Well, they're both technically cars. So it's kind of the same thing in that way. It's different versions of...
Scott, the lights and the outlets are on the same line.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
And multiple rooms are chained together. Obviously, like, the washer dryer's on its own circuit. But,
yeah, it's kind of dumb.
Let me see, where is the sweeper thing? Is the number on it, or...?
It's in the sink over there, but here's a plain one.
This one's small or bigger.
It is bigger, but there should be a number on it somewhere. I think it's... I don't know, there should be something. Okay, excuse me.
It's the smallest one we own, Kelly. Not that that helps you.
Oh, this one's almost done.
I'm sorry. I can tell you they're about, you know, 1.5 inches in diameter. So about that. And this one looks like a 2-incher, maybe. Maybe 2.5. It's way smaller than this one.
Okay. Would you, on the stream deck, would you hit the button on the top row that says cook?
Cook button.
So, alright, I just pulled the top off of the Instant Pot.
2 tablespoons. More like 3 tablespoons. Ish.
Oh, this camera
Maybe
is
2. It depends on your tablespoon scoop size.
Well, yeah, if you would turn it back to the last button on the top, it's frozen.
Oh, it's frozen. So
Yep.
Food porn?
Prawn.
Prawn, not porn. Yep, this is my shark apron. Matt Kelly hooked me up with it. Although I'm thinking of getting another one like Decay's because I love this one and I don't want it to get ruined. It's gonna get holes and stuff. And if I'm gonna be using it as often, then I think I should get something a little bit heavier, maybe. Of course, I'd put a shark on it because that's my spirit.
I'm ladling out 3 cups of stock.
3 cups of stock are being ladled into
Measuring.
a measuring cup. That's what he's doing over there. And then he'll bring it over here.
And then we have parts.
I'm resisting the urge to eat one of these pieces of carrot. So I know sumos eat a ton of calories, but I don't see that many calories in front of me. These are all close to 0 individually.
So there's usually a ton of protein that goes into it.
Yeah, the shrimp, this is probably what? These are good size. So I bet 3 is 100 calories. Now this sucker, the pork belly, this is a little fat. This is more fat than protein.
Okay. So I got 3 cups of that chicken stock. Look at how golden that is.
That's pretty. It smells good too.
Now I've added no salt to this.
No salt.
No salt.
Yeah, this would be my dress apron, Kelly.
Just because I'm gonna need to stir in the miso, and we'll taste it at that point. If we need salt, we can add salt at that point. But shark on the apron. But we want to give it a taste before we add any salt to it. So, okay. Oop. All right, so this should come up pretty quick, and then we'll turn down the heat on it.
You can push the plug in more. It's like... Yep, my dress apron. But the goal is to cook with DK more often, which means I'll need to wear it all the time. And the more you use something, the faster it gets used. And his is like a canvasy material.
Yeah. See? Check it out how quick that's coming up.
Wow. Is that on? Yeah, you can kind of see it on camera.
Yeah, you can kind of see the movement in it, so, okay.
So 1 is 100%?
10. That was 10.
Oh.
It's now on 5.
Is 10 100% or is it just 10? So
10,
does it go...
10 is 100%.
Okay. I didn't know if it was 10 or 100. Like...
No, it's 10.
Okay.
Because there's a decimal place in there. See? It says 5.0. Alright.
You're taking some out now?
Yes, in order to stir up the miso.
Oh, the miso. So that way it evenly distributes.
Yep. All I'm doing is stirring it up.
How are you guys today? I had a case of the Mondays.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's just, I had no interest in working, and
Oh.
I ended up not doing what I was supposed to do. I did other stuff that is relevant to my job, but I'm supposed to be working. We're getting audited next month in 2 weeks, and I'm supposed to be doing audit stuff. Was I? Nope.
What were you doing?
I was doing data entry for this one, for the month of May. This data entry is easy.
It'd be easier with a whisk, but
Do you want me to get you a whisk?
nah.
We have that little tiny one.
I know. But this'll do just fine. Okay.
Miso soybean paste.
Yep.
35 calories per tablespoon. How many tablespoons did you add?
I don't know, maybe
2?
3, maybe?
3? So, 110 calories?
Yeah, something to that effect.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess it's the rice that you add to it.
Yeah.
Well, in the pork belly, that's pretty fatty and higher calorie.
Alright, I'm gonna
The
go.
shrimp are low calorie, and like these chicken balls, as long as you don't eat all of them, that's not that much calorie.
So I'm just getting more stock to have on hand.
More stock, because it'll reduce as it cooks.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
What?
This one is thinking.
What one?
Did we lose you guys? No. The one on the telly, the stream
Oh.
preview. It was thinking. Do you guys like the adventure of what we're eating today? Our life is always like, oh, and we're going to eat something I can't pronounce. And that's okay. Not everybody's willing to try that. A lady I work with at work says she won't eat rice because it tastes like little maggots. And I'm like, how?
Did you eat maggots?
Yeah, how would you even know what maggots taste like? Because that's not the case.
To be fair, she is a bit of a troll.
She's very nice.
Like, I'm convinced she lives underneath a bridge and asks people riddles in order to let them pass. Or tries to collect a toll.
She's very nice.
Alright. Let me turn this down just a bit. Whoop.
He's setting a timer.
There we go. Alright. Oh, did that taste?
Question.
Future request fruit carvings. Do I still do them? I haven't done them in a while, but it is something that I'd
He
like to
does.
do again.
He does do them when, when he's in the mood.
That's pretty tasty. I do feel like it needs a touch of salt.
I was gonna say it touches.
Alright. So I'm getting the kombu salt that I have. There we go. Alright. That should do it, and then we should be ready to party.
So essentially you just cook it until the meatballs are done?
Yeah, so we're gonna like put stuff in there all kind of nice and pretty. Better. Yeah. So we're gonna put stuff in there so it's nice and pretty and kind of like an order of what they need to be done as. Hang on.
How do you keep it nice and pretty?
Chanko Nabe beauty shop. ASMR. Okay. So, like, for instance, the Korean green onion, this is going to take some time. So we'll put that stuff, like, at the back. And same with the Napa cabbage ribs. The shrimp and, like, the pork belly aren't going to take very long. The meatballs are going to take a little bit of time. Shiitake mushrooms are definitely going to take some time. The carrot
I
won't
don't
take
see
too
all
long.
these fitting in there.
Not at once. So, okay. If you would grab some of the Napa ribs. Thank you. And this is definitely not working like I was hoping it would.
That's a lot. I think you're gonna need a bigger pot.
Well, we're going to do it in batches. We're not doing everything at once. Okay.
Now that it's sort of fruit season up here, we could do, fruit carvings would be easier. Fruits in the winter is a little bit hard to get.
Okay.
But it's almost watermelon season.
Saw them at the market.
Think they're any good?
No clue.
My nose is itchy. I gotta wash my hands again.
Chopsticks?
Sure?
Alright. Oh! Got something. The dipping sauce. Need ponzu for dipping.
The dip.
Oh, there. Oh.
What do you dip?
The stuff that's in there.
Oh. We're not eating it like a soup.
No. The way that Chanko Nabe is eaten is you cook like the solids and you pull them out, eat on them, then continue cooking the solid stuff. And then at the very end, with the broth that's been enriched and everything that's in there, that's when you add the rice to it and shout in.
Oh! I'm sorry. I thought it was just like sancocho where you eat it all at
No.
once.
I forgot the tofu.
Sancocho is a Colombian chicken soup.
This is a really soft, creamy tofu. It's a Korean tofu, but we'll scoop that in there. Yes, very good.
You guys are quiet.
Right.
How long does this cook for? The stream keeps getting like
Yeah, that's super
just how it
common.
is. Okay.
Yeah, it's super because it's being broadcast, having to go out over to the internet and then be downloaded here, and the laptop's doing all the work.
Okay.
So this usually, like, I don't.
I was gonna say we don't really need to see that.
Yeah, I'll have that paused.
Oh,
But as long as it's still saying that we're live and we got bitrate up there, we're good to go. It means that we're still broadcasting and everything's fine.
if you don't mind my asking, what are you mapping? Map Kelly. Wishes to go out.
There was children in the neighborhood that should freak out. I'm gonna let you step forward a little bit. Thank you. So I can sit.
I've been sitting all day.
I've been standing for 3 hours.
You have been on for a while. Did you shut it off and then turn it back on? Or
No. I just ran a break in between the different sections, so then when I go back, I can pull the pieces apart. See, now it's like simmering nicely. It'll be good.
No touch.
They had their food earlier. They're good to go. It's cooking nice.
Hey, you're kidding me?
Hey, you're kidding me. Welcome. How are you doing today? Let's see. I'm guessing it's morning for you now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
That's not quite there yet.
Not quite.
Yeah. Normally this is made in a ceramic Nabe, which is basically just a big simmering pot. However, I have seen pictures at different Chanko Nabe restaurants in Japan of like an aluminum kind of pot. I don't have, other than my Le Creuset, I don't really have one that's big enough to do this sort of thing with. So I'm doing what I can with what I got. Coffee farms in northern Nicaragua. Trying to identify which ones a company should focus working with to encourage non-farm reforestation versus diversifying income through agroforestry, i.e. growing coffee in the shade of bananas, mangoes, etc. Okay. Tired. To be honest, my 18-month had a terrible night battling fevers. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're kidding me. Let's see. Okay. I think. Hey, babe. Round one should be good. That means come here.
My coworker, the troll, turned me on to this book, which was super awesome. I had to order the rest of the series, and it came. I didn't order all of it, but part of it. I have to wash my hands again. I was petting the dog.
So I would leave the shiitake mushrooms in there for a little bit longer, but the nappage cabbage stem and like the green parts of the depa should be good to go. The thick parts of the depa, which is the big onion, should take probably a couple more minutes.
So
once
pick out a few pieces to eat?
Yeah, basically fish out kind of whatever.
Good thing I have,
here's some ponzu sauce.
Okay. My hands are full.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, for fishing out?
Yeah.
Oh. Coffee farms in northern Nicaragua. 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 Is that right?
Nicaragua.
Mmm. That's good. Working with to encourage non-form reforestation. Interesting. I gotta dip it, you say?
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. Yeah, I'm fascinated. I mean, the cabbage I'm eating is almost 0 calories. It's interesting you eat it like this, in this fashion.
It's how they do things. I'm just kind of fishing stuff out so then that way, here, bring your bowl over. So then that way we get like the meatballs in. And,
Okay. Well, I don't want to fill up on cabbage.
well, you're not really going to fill up on it, let's be honest.
Okay.
Alright.
It's good for you though. It's got fiber.
Yep. Okay. So that...
It's very hot.
everything goes everywhere. Alright.
How do they do it so it doesn't do that way?
What do you mean?
I wonder how they put it in the pot so it doesn't go everywhere.
My guess is that they preload it before.
Mmm.
Okay. Do we want to do meatballs?
Sure. What does that mean?
What's what mean?
It was beeping.
Yes. It just decided to turn off because of the timer.
Yeah, let's do some meatballs, a little carrot. Can we do those at the same time?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I write about ponzu sauce, like it adds a whole extra thing. I'm sorry.
It's just so much easier to grab it with your hands.
You're kidding me. It's so hard when you know, kids are sick. That's really tough. Hopefully they're not too high. And your child's getting better.
Clean hand.
Yeah, because sick kids are no bueno.
Okay. I'm gonna go wash my hand real quick. Hi, puppy. Those meatballs are gonna take a while.
Yeah. I understand what you mean now by we sit and eat and go and...
Yeah, it's not a...
Because I was thinking it's like Sancocho.
No.
Which, have you done that on the stream yet?
No, I've not made Sancocho on stream yet.
It's one of my very favorite soups. Super
At least,
tasty.
I don't know if I've made Sancocho on stream yet. Let me scoot over so I'm actually on camera.
Like I said, Sancocho's a Colombian chicken soup. Chicken and rice. But at the very end, you add avocado and an aki, which is a sort of salsa, maybe?
Yeah.
More like a pico. It's not super spicy. It's got a lot of flavor. It's good.
It can be spicy if you want it to be.
Yeah. But we're babies. By we, I mean me.
We're just older. And need antacids.
Yeah. There's short story. There's a case going on at the shelter that I work at, and we have to hold the family's animals for a while. And we don't normally hold these kinds of animals, so we had got a chinchilla on the premises and a quail.
It's kind of random.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's a bathroom that no one's allowed into it because there's a snake in there. I was like, can we drop a shrimp or two in there? Or?
It's a little full at the moment. I
So
would wait.
no.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you, but Mumpy took a made musubi this weekend.
Oh, how did that go? How did it turn out? It's not pronounced musubi. We learned
Yeah, it's
that weekend it's pronounced differently.
musu. It's like musubi or something like that.
That was more like musobai.
Something like that. Just adding some more stock so then that way the meatballs would
Everything's
actually,
covered.
yeah, submerge.
Yeah, Lumpy, you'll have to tell us how. Well, you'll tell me how it went. I'm assuming he told you.
Yes, he sent pictures. The it looked like the rice had been, at least as far as I gathered, used too much water. It's a Japanese style rice, and yeah, it was too
It's
much water.
practice. I told you
But-
you need to do a rice stream.
No,
Just this is how you cook rice. I know it sounds crazy, but his rice is phenomenal, and it's taken him a year or more to perfect it. What are you whining about? Oh, it's not whining. I hear a bug outside.
girl.
It's kind of warm in here.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna open the sliding door.
If you like.
Ooh, I already feel it. I opened the screen door.
Oh,
Good, some good air current going.
on the front door.
Front door and the. I'm sorry I doubt you. I don't doubt you. But there are foods you're like, I'm gonna make la 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 la. Like, but really?
It's like you'd think you would have like learned by now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fish out one of the big balls.
Cut it open.
Yeah.
Make sure it's cooked. Sorry you guys aren't here to join us. That would be a ton of fun.
So that's what we're looking at, like inside. Almost there. Not quite.
We were the other day dreaming up this beautiful, perfect weekend with concert and, you know, like all of you guys like coming out.
Lumpy, for reference, it was if we won the lottery, UTA summer camp.
Yeah. Carrots went down to the bottom. That's perfect.
Nice. Shiitake mushroom?
Yeah.
Stick it in there. Let me get you the one that I carved the asterisk at the top.
Just because. Just because.
Yeah. Carrots?
Yes.
There you go.
They're pretty hot.
Yes, they are. You want any more? There you go.
That's good. I'm good. Unless you're pulling out a meatball.
Actually. That one. Come here. Okay. Chicken meatball.
It's a little hot. I'm
Yes.
gonna let it cool down. What's one of the craziest things you've eaten? No judgment. If rice is the craziest thing you've eaten, good for you.
Nope.
Your door's open up.
Mm-hmm.
That time of year when the opening the house up causes some of the doors to slam. Eel's pretty tasty.
Mm.
We love freshwater eel. Unagi is delicious.
Okay, first impression of the meatballs. A little heavy on the ginger. Honestly, I think it could use some salt too.
I don't know if it needs salt. I'd love to try a kangaroo.
Mm.
I'll eat that. I did school online a few years ago. I graduated. I'm educated now, but one of the classes they asked, you know, getting to know you, like, what's the weirdest thing you've eaten? And somebody's like, blood sausage is
Meatballs?
gross. And I was like, are you kidding? We got blood sausage in the freezer.
One more?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah, I gotta save room for shrimp.
Okay.
Pork belly. And these are hot.
That they are.
Right through our pen.
Shrimp are going to be done pretty quickly. I'm going to let that come up to a simmer.
Yeah, the meatballs are good. I don't know, like, because mine was the way it was, like maybe that one didn't need salt like some of the others.
Mm. Well, the one that I gave you originally was half of the one that I tested to see if it was done.
Right. But with the ponzu sauce, yeah, I think it's fine. I need some water. Hell, hydrate. No dying. You nasty.
Woo!
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. My mouth doesn't do heat. Figurative and literally. I want you to have some too. It's pretty amazing.
I'm really thinking I should have like cut the shiitake mushrooms down a bit.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm gonna treat and get a pair of scissors.
Okay.
So I can do just that.
You should. How's that working out for you?
It's okay. It's easier said than done, that's for sure.
Yes. Jeez, girl.
He's talking about the dog.
Yeah, I'm talking about the dog, Vera.
Some people were walking by, so she's running around all excited.
Yeah, earlier there was.
Try?
Yeah, earlier there was 2 kids, one on a scooter and another one on a bike. She yeah.
Had to tell the whole neighborhood that there's children on the street.
Basically.
That's excellent.
So you down to have this every basho?
Once.
Yes. No, I'm not saying like every day during the bashos. I'm just saying like, say at the end of each of the bashos.
Sure.
Next time we'll do it with kimchi.
What you should do is freeze some of these meatballs. That way you have them for, July.
Yeah, but they only took like a couple of minutes to make.
Or not. I was just trying to make it easy. Do I put some onion in there now?
Mm-hmm.
Like regular onion. Is that what, white onion?
Mm-hmm.
Screw trying to make it look good, just throw it in.
Yeah.
We visited the Amazon. They showed us how indigenous people can eat these fat white bug larvae in a plant because they were on the vine to survive. Then they proceeded to make us eat them.
I've seen those grubs that you're talking about, Kelly.
It's probably palm.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of Naked and Afraid.
Yeah. Do shrimp.
If I were desperate, I would eat grubs. I don't know if I'd eat one there. At the same time, like you, because I'm there, I'd probably give it a try to be nice. But if you didn't know what it was, would you care? As much as it's still... Because I had escargot once, and they didn't really make it look like snails.
Dude, escargot, when done right, is friggin' delicious.
And it was. It was fantastic.
Oh, this was when we the annual
ranch.
the annual dinner. Yeah, they did an amazing job.
If you're ever in Anaheim and you want to go to a nice restaurant, highly recommend the ranch. It's not gonna be cheap, but
I don't know if they're still there.
I think they were.
It's been a few years.
Let's go get the phone.
But yeah, oh man. Phenomenal restaurant. It's, well, I don't know if it's technically Anaheim or Orange. It's not right there at Disneyland or the Convention Center, but it's down State College, heading east towards the 57.
It's on East Ball Road.
Ball Road.
And it is definitely still open. 4.6 stars, 904 reviews.
Good.
They're
awesome.
They are awesome, and they actually have a they grow their as much food
Shrimp?
as they can. They actually have their own farm.
Here, just give me your bowl.
Thanks. I'm sure this is a million times better than Grubs, Kelly.
There you go.
That's not woo. Grubs is not something I'd want to eat if I didn't have to.
But if that's what you got, I mean, it's kind of like in what is it, Cambodia, the spiders that they'll eat because that's what they had during
Yeah,
the
the
Khmer
only
Rouge.
thing they could find were tarantulas, so that is the specialty of the village, is deep fried tarantula. I don't know if I could do it. I mean, maybe. Those shrimp are gigantic.
Yeah, they're U16, I think.
I'm letting them cool down. They're too hot.
I'm having meatball right now.
Hot, hot, hot!
Ooh, I should clip that. Hot, hot, hot!
That's a great idea.
I'm gonna write it on the fridge.
If you didn't know, it's a quote from The Fifth Element.
Hi, Jane. Jane's just sitting back here like, oh man, this smells good. When is my turn to eat?
Not for a little while,
Not
buddy.
for a little while, buddy. Your stuff is fresh, though. Ah. These aren't the grippiest chopsticks.
Mm-mm. I'm surprised you grabbed these and not the other ones.
What other ones?
The more grippy ones. Or are these the more grippy ones?
I think these are technically the grippy ones.
No. These are the more grippy ones. These don't match.
I think we'll do a regular stream tomorrow.
What do you think about making? Any requests?
No clue yet.
Mm.
I got a hot take for you. I prefer the meatballs over the shrimp.
I do like the shrimp. But I guess, yeah, they don't really have a lot of... They're shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the meatballs have a lot of
Stuffed
layers to them. Whereas this is shrimp that's been dipped in ponzu sauce. Like, it didn't catch on the flavor of the bowl, or if it did, it's very faint.
What's in the broth again? Okay. So the broth that is currently simmering, Lumpy Pickle.
And don't be sorry, Pickle. Ask all the questions.
Yes. It's chicken stock that I made using thigh bones that I had harvested from thighs that I had deboned, a stewing hen, chicken feet that have had the toenails trimmed. There's daikon, carrot, napa cabbage, onion, long green onion, and a couple of onion tops that went into it. It was in the Instant Pot for an hour. Came down mostly naturally.
How long does it take to make the same stock from scratch without the Instant Pot?
Like 4-ish hours. And then... I know. I did too. Then in the pot itself, there was about an ounce of sake, an ounce of mirin, some grated ginger, grated garlic that was added to the chicken stock, and then miso was stirred in. And then I've just replenished it with more chicken stock as the level's gone down.
You added this stuff.
Oh yeah,
Here's
and a
salt.
little bit of the kombu salt. I'm thinking some pork belly.
Definitely. Yeah, the shrimp are good, but it's just shrimp. Like, there's nothing fancy about them. It tastes like shrimp. How's the onion in there?
Probably about ready.
It is pretty amazing. As if DK can make anything else.
Excuse me.
The only time he made something that was horrible wasn't his fault. It was Mother's Day, and my mom had requested halibut, and he bought halibut from the Vietnamese market.
However,
it's very common for halibut to be confused with this other fish, and he cooked this fish, and then it just
disintegrated to mush.
Yeah, it wasn't good eats. And that wasn't his fault though. We bought halibut, but they packaged it incorrectly.
Yeah,
so.
the package was labeled halibut. It was frozen, and it looked like halibut. But when I went to make it, it came out as a mush, and I'm like, what the heck? And after some research,
just for the halibut.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Just for the halibut.
Yeah, but after research, we discovered that this one fish can be easily confused as halibut.
Easily confused as halibut.
It looks a lot like it, and so from that point on, we only buy fish from...
Well, when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, okay, well then I want to make sure I'm getting it from somewhere where I know it is what it is.
So we stick to Whole Foods. Oh, you bought that cod. Whole Foods, Costco.
Basically other reputable places.
Not that place wasn't reputable. I get how the mistake was made. But for Mother's Day, I was like, ugh.
I felt so bad.
But you cooked for her many times. She knows it wasn't your fault.
Oh yeah.
The number of times you made meatloaf for her, she was fine.
I still have the last text that she ever sent me thanking me for the meatloaf.
That was like a week or so before she died. That's crazy. You don't eat river fish? So up here in salmon season, you can actually you're allowed to catch 2. I thought it'd be fun to get a license and go fishing.
How are we feeling about?
I'm pretty good.
You're good. Because I'm wondering if we need to do more meatballs.
I think in an hour when we're starving again. That's
Probably.
when we'll need to do more meatballs.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna throw in some of the Napa leaves, since they'll be done pretty quick. And then I think we can do the rice.
Okay, are you sure about this?
What?
Using the microwave.
Yes, I'm sure.
I think it's gonna blow a circuit. Because we've got the Install pot plugged in, the thingy over there. Where's the rice at?
Oh, it's in here.
And I'm putting it in a bowl and wetting a paper towel.
And putting it over. I mean, I just want to make sure that it's. Yeah, it should be fine. There should be enough moisture in there.
Are you trying to find a bunny? Here comes the female. She's stalking rabbits.
Alright, that should be sufficient. Hi, Jane.
How wet does paper towel need to be?
Wet.
Like soaking wet, dripping wet?
Not dripping, but definitely wet. That makes sense. Yeah, that works.
I've never done this. And I'm shocked you suggested. Okay, 2 minutes?
Maybe 3. Hang on.
Okay, if we blow a circuit.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Check out Outdoor Chef Life YouTube channel. Okay.
Outdoor Chef Life. There's a Twitch channel that's 24/7 outdoor cooking.
I think we can go smaller on the shrimp too.
Yeah.
I mean, I love big shrimp, but for this, I think they went smaller.
We're gonna save the tofu.
Okay.
Give me, Jane.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah, I'm actually really meh on the shrimp.
Yeah, I can see that.
never had that happen. I got some new timers not that long ago, and for some reason, the magnets on the back don't seem to be pulling as hard as they have been. I don't know why. It's very odd.
They're not very magnety. Come on, Jay.
There we go.
Good boy. Up the window. So outside my window is one of the dog freedom fences, and that's where they do a lot of meet and greets. And there was a pit bull, a lot like Jay, big giant head. It was fun to watch. He was meeting a potential family who had another dog. They seem to be getting along well.
Good.
But his head was easily as big as Jay, but he was certainly undersized. He is slightly emaciated.
Okay, that worked like a treat.
Yes, and the microwave didn't blow a circuit.
It's probably because we unplugged everything.
Yeah.
We'll let that come back
One
up.
day we'll update the electrical box and have the kitchen just on its own circuit.
Yeah. But, so the rice in the soup here, this is traditionally how it ends. Once all the solids and everything have been eaten and taken out, you'll stir in rice and then eat it like that way. So I'm going to get new bowls for it.
Come on, dogs. There's not enough room now.
They're like, when's it our time? Our time!
Our time down here.
We got big spoons. This has been delicious. I've enjoyed doing this. At some point, we're gonna set it up so that we can stream from the dining room table, specifically when we go to do Korean barbecue. So then that way we can grill it and have like the whole thing sitting out there.
Yeah, family meal together.
Basically, yeah, family meal together effectively. Which, what is that, 2 weeks that we're doing that with Lily?
Oh, yeah. The second Sunday.
Okay, so like 3 weeks. So 3 weeks let's see. Yeah, like 3 weeks we're doing it with our friend and her like mom. And then the Tuesday after that, we'll do it here at home. Yeah, I won't stream from her place, but yeah, we'll do it Tuesday.
Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
So, and I wouldn't affect me.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. Okay, we're out of simmer, babe.
Okay. I'm playing with my phone.
There you go.
Whew. I'm pretty full. And I'm gonna let this cool down. Actually, we haven't had. I don't think you've ever made like trout or.
Yeah, I can't say that I've made.
Are you a trout person or? Are you...
Trout's okay, but I can't say it's like, oh my gosh, trout. You know, it's trout.
Trout.
I mean, I'll eat it, but actually, we could.
You need to change the dumpster fire.
Oh,
This isn't a dumpster fire.
but yeah,
It's hot.
it is hot. That is quite hot.
Yeah.
Add a touch of ponzu to it. So I had a quick sip, and I'm like, you know what? Let me hit it with a touch of ponzu. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you guys had fun?
Has it at least been educational? Perhaps a bit entertaining.
I'm not cooking, so it's not that entertaining.
Mm.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Hi, Jane. He's just foaming at the mouth. He's like, food.
Woo. They're delicious, but they're very hot.
Yeah, it's gonna need a minute to cool.
Edumacated.
Edumacated. Okay, buddy.
Pitbull says, what about me?
He's not on camera, unfortunately.
No. We can put them both on.
Yeah. Just gotta pack him up just past the fridge.
Nope, come here.
I want to see the Posture Princess and try a version of the meatballs. So, Kelly, if you just Google Sumo Hime, there'll be pictures of her that come up. I will say that there are like a couple of pages as well as YouTube channels that are dedicated to her, but kind of like in a slightly creepy way. But if you do a Google image search for Sumo Hime or Posture Princess, she should come up.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Burgers sound pretty good, Avocado Green KitchenAid.
No joke, especially if they're from In and Out.
Hey.
Is that a mosquito bite on your hand?
No, this is it. It's like an ingrown hair. It's a Bobo.
Well, he would happy, you buy a plane ticket, he'd be happy to come down. Or wherever. Sadly, planes are outrageous right now. This is almost like rice porridge.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, it's good.
Just very hot.
So,
Yeah, flight prices right now are through the roof. I don't know if that's because of gas or they're trying to
Probably.
make up for all the low prices I took advantage of that my year of freedom. I flew a lot during COVID
she did.
because Mom passed away and I was free to leave. I went very many places.
So, well, thank you everyone for being here today. It's been a good time. I am ready now after almost 4 hours to go have a proper sit down and rest. Yeah, if you ever have any questions about anything, you can hit me up on There's the link for all the socials. We've got a Discord, we've got Instagram, Facebook. You can ask me anything there. If you have any requests for like, hey, I would love to see if you make this or whatever, that'd be the place to put it.
Or you could submit a recipe and
Submit a recipe and we'll give it a shot.
We'll give it a shot and then, hey, the recipe's like, DK here can make it great.
We'll figure out like, oh, okay, well, let's tweak it a little bit and make it that much better. So like, for instance, the cornbread recipe that she made
on stream.
What was that, last week?
Yeah,
Last
maybe.
week before, or something like that?
It was good.
It was good. However, I've made it twice since, and it is now way better. For instance, I swapped out the straight cornmeal for corn flour, and I made it in kind of like the muffin method, which is having all your dry ingredients together, then stirring the wet ingredients into it, and then putting that into the cast iron pan and into the oven. So
it was a lot like a corn muffin. It was excellent.
It was really, really good.
You only had to make it that second time, because one of the dogs, I'm thinking Vera, managed to.
Well, the third time was because the second time the dog got it.
Yeah. She decided while we were away and it was cooling to jump on the table
and consume.
Help herself. That's our bad for not putting it up.
Yeah, that is our bad. So, Thank you to Avocado Green KitchenAid, Matt Kelly, Lumpy Pickle, You're Kidding Me. Let's see, Scott2572, Master of Splits 180, Happy Batty, any lurkers that are hanging out. Thanks so much for coming today. I will be back tomorrow, normal time, 4 p.m. No clue what I'm doing just yet. We will figure it out, and I'll let y'all know.
Something easy, because this was a little...
Something easy. So, yeah, You're Kidding Me. I hope your 18-month-old sleeps better tonight for you. That way you can get some sleep yourself. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much, and I will see you all mañana.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?